I'm Jane. Thank you for taking the time and checking this out. I appreciate it immensely. Namaste. So here I am living in my little fifth dimensional life in this third dimensional reality and helping people ascend and raise their vibes and living my life and having my own experiences. And it's just a grand old time to be a human. Boy, howdy. It's great. And so I wanted to share something that's been coming up and it came up today a few times. So it's about punishment. And so started off with a dear friend of mine started using again. And they are punishing themselves because they're knowing, like they're really aware that they don't need to be using drugs to distract and deal, right? And in that awareness, because we usually know when we're doing something that like we shouldn't do, right? That's not in alignment with our higher self. So in that awareness, they feel really bad and they feel like they're hurting others and they're hurting themselves. And in that awareness, they start to feel bad. And so then they punish themselves by using more. And it's very indicative of like human nature. So I also got a knock at the door today and I answered it, and two women asked me if they could talk to me for a little bit. I was like, sure. And they read something out of the Bible. I don't remember what part it was or whatever. But it was about God punishing us and something else, I don't remember. But what she provoked and asked was, why do you think people feel that God punishes them? And I was like, well, and she referred to God as he, at which point I was like, so I don't see God having a penis. So like, I don't see like the is of all that is, source energy, having, being this like white man in the sky with a penis. I see it as being love and acceptance. I see it being feelings and emotions and a vibration. It's a frequency. It's the space that holds everything together. It's the one thing that unites all of us. It's all around us. It is us. I just don't use the word God because upbringing, I don't like it, but whatever. So anyway, talking about punishment, and I was like, I got to thinking about it, and this was right after my friend reached out to share their struggles right now in where they are in using and punishing and searching for why they keep doing it. Why do I keep using? Why do I keep messing up? What's wrong with me? What happened in my childhood that was so bad? And I think that all this is how we've been raised as a culture, as a society. It's to always find fault, find flaws, find reasons of fuck ups, and then make it right. And I don't even think that we've really been raised to like make it right so much as we've been raised to punish. We've been raised to punish people. And I mean, you look at the prison system, you look at the education system, it's all very punishing by nature. You look at the native peoples that were on this land, they were just being, and they got punished for just being, right? Being different than the group of people that came in and said, we want your land. And in that program of conditioning, especially ancestrally, over and over and over in the lineages of humaning, it is to judge, and then if it's not right, it's wrong, and if it's wrong, it needs to be punished. The person needs to pay for that with their life. They must suffer. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because I think that's complete bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. I don't see God, source, as a punisher. I don't see it as judgment. I see it as unconditional love, acceptance, compassion, all these things. The program told us that we need to find the flaws outside of us, right? That person's wrong, over there that person's wrong. By default, because we're human too, we will inevitably look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I am wrong too. I am not good. I am not good enough. I am not doing enough. I've done too much. I am not good enough. Therefore, I too must be punished. Well, instead of going out to the media and being like, hey, these are all the things that I've done that have not been good, we punish ourselves. And we punish ourselves through repetition of behaviors and thoughts that are not in service to our higher self. So for me personally, I would punish myself with food. Many things, but I'll tell you about the food. I would eat, and I would eat a lot, and then I would feel bad about how much I ate, so then I would eat more. And then I'd get really high so that I wouldn't think about it, and then I'd feel good for a little bit, and then I would turn on something on the TV, and then I would start comparing myself to the people on the TV, and then I would feel bad about my reflection because I wasn't what they looked like, so then I would eat more. And invariably, I grew to be like 50 pounds heavier in this heavy density because I just kept feeding, I get it, like food that wasn't good for me, but I was feeding myself, the program of the media, but also I was feeding myself judgment every single day. And that was my punishment. I also punished myself through relationships. I would be in a relationship, my first relationship wasn't really a relationship. It was more like a rapey situation. And so I kept punishing myself by continually repeating the same exact scenario with older people as a child so that I would feel in control, still punishing myself for the first action in the first place. And that's what we do. We're a child, we do something wrong, we get punished for it, so we do it again. We may not get caught, but we punish ourselves because we have guilt and shame attached. It's very interesting how guilt and shame work in this body, especially when it's been surrounded and channeled and furrowed with judgment. So, if we can acknowledge that, we do shit. We do shit that's fucked up. We do stuff to ourselves, and that's not necessarily in our highest good. My friend that's using, not only are they hurting their physical form, and their spirit is like, and their mental space is like, it's all over the place. They are also creating lower vibrations out from them too. Because people like me, their friend, don't like it. It doesn't feel good to my heart to see someone suffering and to cause that themselves. And they're in relationship with someone else. So the person that they're in relationship with, they are also hurting. The person that is using is a friend. They are hurting. Their parents are hurting. Their siblings are hurting. And it's like, if people understood how much they mattered, and every single thought, word, and action that they put out there into the universe, they really probably would just want to be a little bit more loving and kind just to themselves. And I'm not saying these things to make anyone or even my friend, if they watch this, to make them feel bad for their choices, but to just shine a light on what we've been conditioned to do. We've been conditioned to look at our life and look at all the things that we should have done differently, should have gone here, should have left there. And then we judge ourselves and we punish ourselves now. Or we go into the future and we think, I'm never going to be there, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm stuck, I can't get there. I need to punish myself by staying more stuck. I just want to shine a light that none of this is bad, but man, when we have this awareness of it, then we can make decisions in a very conscious now position, very now. Now I'm realizing that no matter what I've ever done, no matter what traumas I've ever experienced, they're not great, But do we have to continue searching for them and digging them up and searching for them and digging them up and looking and looking and looking? Because every time we do that, we take ourselves out of a now moment of potential alignment and heart leading lives, that we start to more easily punish ourselves for that shit. It's conditioning. It's so human conditioning. And no one is out there alone doing it. A friend of mine's, I know a father that is really good at walking in and out of his children's life. You know, and when he walks out, it's because he literally isn't in a mental space to handle it. So on one hand, this part of me honors his capacity to walk away, to find out his truth, his path, heal himself, whatever it is he needs to do, because apparently he can't handle being present with the children. So I commend that experience. That being said, the kids start to feel, oh, dad doesn't love me. Where's dad? And he's punishing himself instead of just saying, okay, you know what? I just need to be surrounded by the people that love me while I go through this, you know? And so in his punishing of self, his children are being punished. Their mother is being punished. Her parents, like it's we each are the central part of the universe. The I am. That's the absolute 0 point. And everything that we think, say, or do emits out of us. And everyone is that 0 point. We're a bunch of 0 points of nothingness walking around of the isness of all that is. Or we're the isness of all that is walking around in a vast sea of nothingness and creating. Either way you look at it, it's all polarity and it's all the reflection. It's all the same. So when we're in the space of judgment and punishment, we stop being conscious creators. And that's the part that's been where that guilt and shame resides, in that lower sacral space. It's the same space as where creativity and creation comes from. So we get to flip the script and literally change the messages in the brain that are associated with guilt and shame, to clear that and to heal it, and then create something new. Because otherwise we're left in this void feeling space, and habitually speaking, it's easier to go back to what is familiar. There's comfort and familiarity. For many of us, that's drug use, that's alcohol use, that's food abuse, it's addiction. It is, it's addiction to a phone, it's addiction to a TV, it's addiction to distraction. It's what it is. So if we don't consciously create something moving forward, then we will go back to those distracting addictions. And then we punish ourselves because we're aware of what we're doing. And we become this hamster wheel of a human that's not really humaning. And as we do this, as we clear these programs and we create a new, and we become more now. Oh yes, it is now. Now I'm not going to drink. I was drinking 10 minutes ago and I just realized that I'm literally doing something that's hurting others, or I'm using again, or I'm zoning out on the television again, and oh, it's the second hour and I'm aware, and oh, I can turn it off. Or maybe you have the awareness and you just keep watching and you just keep watching and you just keep watching and you just keep and you just keep and you just keep, and then finally you're like, now I quit. But every now we get an opportunity to change our minds. And then we get to do something different. As we do this, we clear the ancestral traumas. We are helping all timelines of all beings ever. Not only are we healing our grandparents' shit, but we're healing the grandchildren's shit for them. That's paving the path for them. Through creativity and creation. No longer furrowing this path with guilt and shame that our ancestors did for us. Doing the best they can, but they were also running for their lives from the people that were pillaging and raping them and their land. You know? So punishment. Do we need it? No. Do we need to acknowledge what we're doing, what we've done? Yeah. Can we feel bad about it? Fuck yeah. Yes, you can be like, damn, I feel really shitty that I said that to that person. I feel really shitty that I didn't do the thing. I feel really shitty about that, man. I kind of wish I would have. That wasn't me standing in light and truth doing that behavior of a human. I'm going to acknowledge that, but that's not who I am now, because now I learned that that's not who I am, and now I'm going to create the person that I am, and I'm no longer going to punish the who I am now for the who I was then, because damn it, I'm creating someone new. I'm creating the who I am about to become. We are becoming now. We are in our best light in this now moment, in this now moment. We've readied for this now up until now. We've never been more ready to be who we are now. Now what? Now we get to keep moving forward, and we get to do it consciously with our brain working, both hemispheres doing the thing, with the frontal lobe being very clear and decisive, with the brainstem here being like, that's cool, just keep you from trauma, as opposed to being the egoic nature running the show. That's the past. Y'all, we don't need to do that shit no more. Don't do it. No, stop being. So I wanted to share what came up today, very loud for me. And I send so much love to every being out there who is in a space of stuck, who's in a space of punishment, of regret, of remorse, of guilt and shame, embarrassment. I send love to all of you, because you're all me. And I've been there, and I've felt it. I've lived through it. And it's okay to be where you are. And you can be where you are as long as you want. And whenever you don't want to be there anymore, you can be as now as you want to be. And you can be proud of what you've done and what you've grown through and the bottoms that you've hit and the hearts that you've hurt, including your own. All the traumas and things that happened to you when you were little, you didn't deserve it, you didn't ask for it, but it's just what happened. And I'm sorry that it happened. And you get to move forward using that as your strength. We're all the superheroes in this world, right? Those traumas are what gives us the superhero powers. Not to be punished for having them happen. It's like, I don't know if there are any superheroes that are like this, that like had been like the bad guy and then like went to be the good guy and like saves the world over and over again. Like, I don't know if there's even a character like that. But could you imagine if here they were like starting to save the world, and then they were like, you know what, I'm just gonna take like a month to just punish myself for shit that I used to do. What, like, hello, humanity would be like, yo, superhero, what the fuck you doing? Get back on your magical pony and save the universe. Right? But we do that. We go back to the past and we try to find out what's wrong with us, why we are the way we are, punish ourselves for decisions that we've made. And we're really good at doing it to others as well. Punishing others for what they did. You know, being in a relationship and someone didn't take out the garbage last week and you're still talking about it to them. You know, they cheated on you. They keep bringing it up. You keep bringing it up. You cheated on them. They keep bringing it up. It's like either we are now and we move forward, or we live now about all the shit in the past. Why? Like, y'all, can we not just like band together and get the energy moving around in a way that's sovereignly powerful, collectively even more powerful, because that is where all the change happens. So I'm proud of everyone for wherever they are, wherever you are, because wherever you are, you're clearing some deep shit, some deep ancestral shit. So thanks. And if anyone needs to hear this, you don't need to punish yourself anymore. You don't need to hurt anymore. You don't need to pay for what you've done before. You can acknowledge it. You can find the gifts in it and where you can be bigger, better, brighter, bolder, more brilliant, more radiant, more loving, more compassionate, more in service to all beings everywhere. so that we all may be liberated and free. So I hope this was of service, and I hope that everyone is enjoying their nows, enjoying this season change, whatever the weather is doing where you are. And if anyone is looking for more support in their ascension process, their reprogramming of this human condition that we were all born unto, you can click on one of the links below. Bam! You can send me a message. You can hit me up. If you're interested in the meditation music that you probably hear in the background, the link is on the bam as well. Highly recommend it. It's healing. If anyone's interested in tribe gatherings where we get together and we amplify the impact of our human capacity, hit me up. I do work in communities. So, yeah, I think that's all I was going to share. Enjoy your nows, y'all. Take care of yourself and each other, please.